So hi everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel Fit as Fit Computer Geek. So as I have told you in the introduction, it's a new course where I am launching where I will teach you data structure and algorithm from depth. My main focus will be on solving as many problems as possible, and giving as less theory as possible. I don't want you guys to involve in so much theory that you don't have the enough time to practice the questions. So main focus is to solve the problem, how to enhance your problem solving abilities. So today it's first lecture. So DSA course, today it's the first lecture, and in this lecture we will be discussing about arrays. So just give you some brief theory about array, and then I will jump into the question solving part. Okay, as I have told you earlier. So because small theory is also required to at least know what we are dealing with, how which topic of data structure we will solving a problem. So let's begin now. Array, you can in basic English is like set of contiguous anything. It's called arrays. Suppose there is only one satellite. If you from let me just give you this one. Like suppose there is only one satellite. This is one disk. So and this will have this is a single disk, and if there are one disk, two disks, then then three disks. So these are called arrays of disks or arrays of satellites. So these arrays of satellites are also used showcase as a single telescope to these arrays of telescope, these are called arrays of telescope. So these arrays of telescope are also used to in astronomy to like behave as a single telescope by the continuous combining the power of more than one telescope. The similar thing is array also. Similar thing array is like array is you can say continuous block of memory allocated for similar data type. So it's a basic definition. Okay, hope you guys are familiarized with this, because it's not it's just a fancy term. But so what is this actually? Continuous block of memory allocated for similar data type. So continuous block in computer memory. So computer memory, as you all know, if you have studied COA, computer organization and architecture subject, there you will find out that memory is actually suppose memory, by memory I mean the RAM. Okay, RAM. So RAM, suppose RAM is our memory here. So RAM will have continuous blocks. Means block means RAM is divided. It's not divided physically actually. Conceptually, it is divided into more than one blocks. So it can be an address, not 01 actually. I'm just for simplicity I'm writing a 01. It's actually a hexadecimal or hexadecimal address, which are basically preferred by any 32 bit or 32 bit. If there are 32 bit, let me just give you a brief idea. But so and or 64 bit. So 34 bit is like 4 byte. 32 is like 32 by 8 equal to 4 byte, and same is like 64 bit by 8 to 6 bytes. So depending on the type of system you are using, the memory is can be 4 byte or 6 byte. 4 byte will represent like 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte, 4 byte from 00000 to FFFF, like that. It's a hexadecimal. Similarly for this. So this is the way in physically our the memory is conceptually visualized actually. Okay, just not out of topic, but let me give you the, as I come through this, I thought it's fun to give out the idea. It's keep the interest going on. So for simplicity I'm considered a 0 1 2 3 4 to continuous block. So array is like a continuous block of memory allocated for similar data type. So continuous block of memory means this memory will occupy, this memory occupy, this memory occupy. Suppose this way it occupy, not like this memory of occupy, this is left blank, then this is occupy. Suppose I declare the array of size 3. Okay, don't worry about the syntax, I'm just giving you general things here. Okay, so basically, so it's a discontinuous block. You can say it's not fulfilling the criteria of array. So array must be continuous. So array must be continuous. Also there is two terms, similar data type. What do you mean by similar data type or dissimilar data type? So if you have gone through any programming language, I'm not specifying standing up to any single programming language, but if you've gone through any programming language like C, C++, Java, Python, Java, let's say Java, so they have primitive data type. Okay, they have primitive data type. What do you mean by data type here? Let me clear it out also. So data type, like in a computer, how you gonna say the computer or to make understand the computer what type of data providing you are providing the computer as an input. So depending on that, the data type is defined. Okay, it's very trivial thing. Okay, I hope you understanding, but you all know that this is it's what, it's a character type data type, or it's it's integer type data type, or you can say it is integer number, it is a character. These are from your basic education. So this is something called as data type. So data type like int for integer, char for character, string for set of character, and one let me give one more example, bool for boolean, boolean, true or false value. So these are the data types. So array must whatever you declared array, it must store. Let's define an array like it have 5 continuous block memory. So it should be like whatever you stored in the data, whatever firstly you registered this clock of chunk of memory from your computer, then before registering it, you have to period mention what type of data type you are using, means what type of data you are storing. So it can be integer, character, string, anything, but not the combination of all. Like it cannot be combination of all. Okay, hope you are getting it what I'm trying to say here. Combination of all means like it cannot be like you cannot store here and 1 here and AB here. It's not like that. Okay, hope you're getting the question I'm trying to say here. So it should be a similar data type. So if it is integer, then all values should be integer, int. And if it is character, then all values should be character. Okay, likewise. So this is the basic definition of array. So if anyone asks the question, just remember the two keywords, that it's a continuous chunk of memory as well as it is stored similar type of data type. This is the basic characteristic of array. Now moving on, let me just give you some more brief about array and we will jump into the question. So one thing like addressing, there is something called addressing in array. Addressing in array. So what is addressing? Okay, address, if you remember this diagram I've already drawn, the RAM memory I've shown, the conceptual visualization of memory in hexadecimal address. So this is our addressing. Basically anything computer store, yet it has some address associated with it, otherwise it's very difficult to locate it. Okay, this way the computer memory work. So this is very fundamental that we have to also understand the addressing in array. So array can be like, suppose I declare a 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 block of memory. Okay, 5 block of memory, and I define an array like I'm using C++, as I told you earlier that I will be basic on C++. So suppose that I declare one array int a of size 1 2 3 4 5. So 5, we have to see the size pair. Okay, you have to must declare the size pair, otherwise there will be no registration of chunk of memory and it will pop an error that you have the array size must be there. So, okay, it's very I hope it is clear to you guys. So likewise addressing. So addressing depend on your system if it is x64 or x32, it will depend on the system you're using. It can be 2 byte or 4 byte. Okay, let's assume that I'm using 2 bytes. So 2 byte of memory is for int. Whenever you declare array, it will take 2 bytes of memory. Okay, let me show you what this concept mean actually from the basic. Let's not draw anything. So basically, like there are some suppose this is our memory. Okay, continuous block of memory this is, and suppose each block is 1 byte. Okay, 1 byte means 8 bit. Each block of 8 bit, it means each block can contain 8 bit of data. Okay, let's assume that this is standard size. Okay, this assumption, don't learn it at hard and fast rule. I just want to explain you the concept. What is 2 bit and 4 byte mean here? Okay, it might be confusing to you and might be confusing to you guys in the first, but let me clear it out. Okay, I don't want anyone to be confused here. So suppose that each byte is 1 byte. So what do you mean by 2 byte of memory? 2 byte of memory will, suppose each one is 1 byte, as I told earlier. 2 byte mean each there will be 2 byte of memory allocated for one value of integer array a. Okay, what do you mean by this? Like 2 byte, this is 2 byte, and there are 5 allocated memories. So 2 byte, this will be 2 byte, one block I am considering it. 2 byte, 1 2 3, 2 byte, 2 byte, let me draw one more, 2 byte, 2 byte, 2 byte, 2 byte. Okay, so this is all. So this is about this is about how the memory are stored for integer array n. So 2 byte means 2 block of memory will considered as a 1 block. It will be assumed at that this 2 block is a 1 block. Okay, hope it is clear to you guys. Okay, so it will be index 0. Suppose that index 0 1 2 3, always array always start the indexing with 0 in any programming language. It's very basic of it. Okay, this one, this one, this one, this one. So it will be 1 2 3 4 5. Hope you are getting it. This 2 byte will be considered as 1 block in array. Okay, so this is the meaning of integer array. So in the similar fashion, if you declare the character array, suppose I declare here character array. Suppose I declare here character array, character a of 5. So it will be considered as 1 byte or 2 byte depending on system. But let's let's assume that it contains 1 byte. So one block will be assumed at 1 byte. So character array will contain only this 1 2 3 4 5. So it will end here. Okay, it will end here in character if you take it character array. So hopefully this difference is clear to you guys, how this system array work, how this addressing happens. Okay, you must understand this fundamental, but in problem solving it might not be in you might not be this concept beneficial to you, but yeah, in a long term, if you want to learn depth of the topic, if you are very interested and passionate about the subject, this will be interesting, this might be interesting to you. This is the fundamental how addressing is done. So sometimes they in interview they ask, may I ask the question? So I'm just giving you that, and you can drive any formula for it. You might have to if you studied in your BTech here or in intermediate, there are something was formula. There's some formula to calculate address. So if you understand this one, you don't need to actually memorize that formula. You can drive the formula at once. Okay, what I mean by like. So now suppose that base address, this will start at 101 continuous block of memory, 102, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, so on. So this will be the 1 block, this will 1 block, this will 1 block. So first address is 100. Suppose I consider for int. Okay, 100. Then the second address of array will be 102. Okay. So you don't have to memorize this. You can just drive this. Drive it in your case. In this way, you will learn the concept. How this. Don't try to memorize the formula. Okay, without knowing what it's doing. Okay. Hope this addressing concept is clear to you. Hope and just I don't want to get deeper into it. So let's leave it be. Okay. So you have learned about addressing and the fundamental of array. Now so these are the things, or you only need to work with array. But let's say in C++ or in Java also, or any language you consider, just read the documentation of language that how array are represented in that. Okay, so considering the C++, there can be static one and dynamic one. There can be static array and dynamic array. Like if you define in like int a5, it is static array. Or if you define like this vector, there is some STL, some library of C++ called STL, where you use this type of, if int a, so this is a actually dynamic array. So most of the time I will be using this one, because it's very easier to work with this one rather than the fundamental one. But it depends on choice, but it's very faster if you use this library. So that's why I will be using. So just go through Geek of Gifts or any your favorite website, and just learn what are the attributes of this vector. We can learn a loop here. Loop is like basic loop, for loop, for int I, like that, and there can be another loop like auto I in vector a. You can run loop, you can declare the size as, here n will be size or 5. You can do this way also. These are very basic. Okay, so if you want to add data, you can use pushback. So as I will go through, I will also show you syntax. Okay, don't worry about it, and I will show you how it's don't try to memorize anything. You don't have to spend the time on memorizing the concept, because once you shift one programming language to another programming language, then you would again understand how the syntax work here. So it is better to just go through the documentation whenever you are doing coding. Learn something about STL. Prior knowledge is required somewhat. Okay, just go on GitHub Gifts. GitHub Gifts is like very great tool, awesome tool for learning this. It's very concise way they will provide you, and you don't have to waste so much time to on that. Just a few theory and you will understand it. Okay, I will also, while solving the question, I will also go through the website and show you some syntax. Okay, for your understanding that how could you use the syntax at a time you're solving the questions. Okay, it is better not to try to remember as less as possible, and try focus more on logical thinking, how we can logically solve the question. Okay, this is the approach I have followed, and I also advise you guys to follow this. Okay, so I think this is enough basic. Now I will solve the question of LeetCode. Okay, so I will see you in a minute. Okay.